Cody Collier, how are you, brother?
Great, how we doing, Leonard?
I'm doing great, man. Hey, you have had a busy couple weeks, so we are catching up on round 10, of the Buckwheat 100, um, and finding out how that went for everybody.
Yeah, no, it was we have had it like we've been talking about on the pre-race reports, those have been keeping along. It's been dusty out here on the East Coast, so round 10, Buckwheat GNCC out in Newburgh, West Virginia. I thought it was going to be an absolute dust bowl. Fortunately, that property got some rain the Thursday evening, and they actually ended up being a really good day of racing. Not dusty hardly at all. For the youth and the AM quads, and then the thunderstorms hit Saturday evening right after the AM race, and they actually ended up postponing the PM race until the thunderstorms passed, and it was an absolute mud fest for the PM race.
Oh God, poor guys.
Oh
Um,
yeah,
did Noah Lynx Likens win the overall for the amateurs?
yeah, for my rate, yeah, for the youth, yes.
Yes, yes.
And his
Okay.
brother, that's what I was trying to get right. Noah's the younger. Cole's his older brother. He actually ended up winning the AM amateur overall and the
Really?
overall altogether if you don't count the sportsman riders. But
Okay. All
yeah, no,
right.
youth was really good. Your front runners out front. Noah had a really good ride. I believe it was Cole Brandt in second place, and I forgive me, I forget who got third place, but really good ride from them. Yeah, good ride
That's
from the
awesome.
young kids. I forget who got there off the top of my head.
That's okay.
Leonard,
I
results master here.
I was just had that I just had that in front of me. That's why I was looking at it and wanted to clarify it to make sure that I got it correctly.
Oh
Uh,
yeah,
I kind of remember some of the results. I don't remember all of them, but just wanted to get this race report in because we were a little behind. You know, when we hit record here in a few minutes for the next one, it'll be a totally different story.
oh yeah. I'm all fresh on that one. It's been a couple weeks, so I don't remember all the results off the top of my head. But yeah, no, Cole Brandt, he actually ran really well this past weekend. Had mechanical failure leading the race, so he's been turning on here lately.
Wow. Sounds like we got some young riders coming up in the youth deal that are going to set the world on fire once they start moving up.
Yeah, no, talent's always growing, the sport's always growing, the next generation's always going to be better, and you're seeing it. Got a lot of young, hungry, talented riders for sure.
Right, right.
But yeah,
So
we'll right on into the. Go ahead, Leonard. We're right on into the AM race.
yeah, let's just get into the 4x4 pro class. Um, you know, I'm looking at the results and they're just all mixed up. Nothing against Haedyn Mickelson, but he's on top of the leaderboard, and Robert Smith's in second on that Can-Am 700, which we had the discussion about it. Brandon Frazier ended up third. You're a little farther down, but what happened out there? Because you guys are all mixed up.
Yeah, no, weird day for the 4x4 pro class. A lot of people having a lot of different issues. Gavin Jenkins is having fuse issues. His main fuse is blowing left and right. I had a thermostat failure. So did Braden Reed. Caden Wharf had a rocket stuck in his fan, causing him to hit limp mode and overheat just from a rocket and stuck in his fan. Uh, Not sure what happened with Frazier. He had some mechanicals at the end of the race, and that's why he ended up third. He was gone, checked out in first place. So
Yeah, like we were talking a couple days ago. Hey, ugly wins are wins, right?
yeah, wins a win. Wins a win. The points are the points. Yeah, it doesn't matter if you win by a mile or a second, but wins a win.
Was the course rough?
Not particularly. The thing I like about the course this year is we ran the property for I think it's our fourth year here now. So the track's starting to get developed, and some option lines are starting to develop. The main line got blown out enough, and the secondary lines are starting to come in enough to where there was some option lines. There was some passing out there this year.
Not as much passing in the past.
No, it was that track is known for being pretty single line. Just the way the hills are, the way the track's made, marked and everything. It's just kind of funnels you into one line.
If I remember correctly, there were some wet spots and then some after it rained for you on Thursday, it just made some great damp dirt that you guys didn't have any issues. So there was really no dust. It was just a couple little grassy bogs that were a little wet for you, and made for just a spectacular track for the AM race. And obviously, we'll get into the PM race.
Yeah, no. The youth, the youth runs almost half of our track, so they did a good job, getting some of the grooves set in, some of the top layers blown off. But after the 4x4 pros go through, you pretty much don't have to worry about most of the holes. There wasn't nothing super deep. We got that top layer off, and it got really raceable really quick. I didn't get to finish my second lap, and my thermostat went out, but me and Frazier were out front in a really good battle. I was 10 or so seconds back, just kind of lingering there, and I was tight early in the race, and finally got a flow going. Was able to reel in on them and keep just keep them honest and be there, and was ready to turn it on. And thermostat note said no more.
Did that just shut the motor off and go into a limp mode, or did it shut the motor off because of catastrophic failure?
I hit limp mode. I shut it off and took back off, just trying to figure out what it was. Hit limp mode again. I no steam or nothing. I didn't really feel too hot around my legs, like not melting anything hot or anything. So I turned it off and went to take back off again. The third time, we think the radiator cap was too much pressure, and it blew the radiator cap, and there's a bunch of steam and everything. So I knew I did over.
That's something that you don't see very often on that machine.
No, you don't really hear of a thermostat with less than 20 hours on it going bad.
Is it so? Let me get a little clarification, and you can school me on this machine, because I am not 100%. Do you have to run that thermostat in there?
That's what we're trying to figure out a way around it. So we got things in the works to try to make something happen.
I know on lots of other machines that I've dealt with, we just take the thermostat right out.
Yep, that's what we're looking at doing. So looking at hard we have an issue, we're looking to get rid of it. So
are there electronics connected to it, or is it just a manual setup?
We don't think so. So it's just manual. We know it probably controls like your fan, and that's really about it. Off the top of my head is just the fan. Water pump's just manual. It just connects to the motor. Your water pump's always running. So I think it's just the fan, the only thing it really controls.
Yeah, I'd have to dive into it, and work on it a little bit, because like on the Honda 450Rs, we take them out. The Z400s, we took them out. The Raptor 660s, we took them out when I was working on the Polaris KTM motors in the Polaris chassis. We take them out instantly, because they would all stick.
Yeah, no. So that's what we're looking at doing. Something along those lines. We're looking at it, and then just getting rid of the issue. It just stuck on me, and that mechanical part of the thermostat just failed on me. I was letting less than half the antifreeze freeze through, and that was my day.
Right, I get it. So we jump into the WXC, and Chloe Harper owned the day, it looked like. And before we get into Chloe, Katelyn Osburn's always running in that top 3, 4, 5, and she didn't make it a lap, it looks like.
Yeah, DNF. Not sure what happened there. I had my issues throughout the race and was dealing with my problems throughout the race, and didn't hear too much about it. But Katelyn with the DNF. Not sure what happened. She was racing this past weekend, so no big get off or anything. Probably just a little mechanical, but had a really good ride this past weekend.
Yes, she did. But we'll get into that ride here.
Yeah.
Jessica just seems to be, no pressure, not having to put it off, not having to take any risk. Came in second, and Hannah Hunter, don't know. She wasn't that far behind, but she's got that one win, but she just can't seem to bring it back.
Yeah, the competition's tough. Chloe and Jess are really good. Was able to steal one away from early in the season, but they're going to be there every weekend, and Hannah's got to step up with them.
Right.
But Chloe's stepping up. She seems to want to be leading the pace and setting the charge after Jess, and Jess just keep her honest for the most part. It just Jess knows she has a championship. Sure, she's not having to push that hard. Knows she doesn't have to push that hard. Why take those extra risks? I can run a comfortable pace in second the rest of the season, but you don't want to get Chloe too much confidence going into the next season, having to be a problem.
Well, last year when we were talking about Chloe, she came in at the end of the year and won 3 races.
Yeah, and that was just
No.
things were clicking for her, and then she had some early season woes this year, trying to get things figured out, and just got them figured out here again at the end of the season. So if she can carry that into the beginning of the season next season, she's going to be trouble.
I think that, yeah, without these early season issues, she's freaking, fighting for that title now here at the end of the year instead of, she's locked into second pretty good. Hannah can't pass her. There's a gap between Hannah and Katelyn. So the top 4 are pretty much locked into their spots. I think it's 33 points, if I'm not mistaken, after round 11 for the WXC class. Not when we get to round 11 race report, it'll be there. But right now it's what do they get? 5 more points. So it's probably
they're an amateur class, so they get amateur. No, we had this talk, didn't we? They give them pro point scoring. They do give them pro point scoring. They
yeah. So it's 8 point. So she's got 38-point deficit. And then she wins, so she closed the gap by 5. So next round it's 33. We just gave that away, didn't we? But it's okay. When we get into the XC2 class, I picked this, I believe, in our report. Eller put it on top of the box. Alex jumped right in there for this the second, and this is one of your guys. You called this one with the Keaton Henderson jumping in there on the podium. He's one of the young guys.
I don't think I actually picked him to get on the podium. He actually not surprised me, but
you brought his name up.
Put together a good ride. Finally showed everybody what he can do. He can put together a good ride and just keep his head clean. Get a good start, and kept picking his way forward. So
right.
He's a really talented young rider. Him and his brother. So they were figuring it out.
How far away is Waterford from some of the Wattsburg, PA, from some of the places in West Virginia? Do you know?
Not that specific town in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is a pretty long state. I don't know if a lot of you West Coast guys realize it. It's 6-7 hours to get across that state.
Really?
Yeah.
Doesn't look like it.
It's a long state. It's a long state.
Okay. I was just wondering how the correlation, how close some of the racetracks are to West Virginia, because some of the places are closer, because the state has so many racetracks and so many people come from Pennsylvania, Ohio, and all in that area, West Virginia. It's pretty awesome area.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, no, for a local race for me going to Pittsburgh, not a bad deal, not a bad weekend. Going all the way to Philadelphia, that ain't happening in a weekend.
Okay, all right. Jeremy, what is that? Ladon?
Jeremy Ladon.
Ladon. He jumped in there, and Schick jumped in there. Kenny Schick. Those guys jumped in there. They moved up in the standings. They seem to have done really well. Braxton Gross from the West Coast didn't have near the good as ride as he thought he was going to, dropped down into the 9th spot. But
that mud was tricky. Mud beat up on the West Coast boy.
Yeah, it did. Every mud race, it's moved him back, but the learning curve for him, first year out, I think he's doing pretty good. He's got a good lock and third in points, and not a bad race.
No, I'm just giving you guys crap when I can. No, he's figured it out. It's going to be good for him. All the tools, all the things he's learned out from the East Coast, he's going to be able to take it to the West Coast and be that much better for it.
Hey, one of these days you're going to want to come ride out here on the West Coast. Remember that?
Oh yeah.
And I'm going to take you to all of the worst places. Okay.
Okay. No problem.
You don't care. You just want to go ride, right?
Absolutely.
I love it. So I can't wait. I got to ride a Gen 3, which we talked about on the Outlander. I really want to get with you and get some riding lessons and find out what I'm doing wrong, or if anything, to make myself go a little bit better on those machines. It was a lot of fun. I really, really enjoyed that platform.
Yeah. So, we'll talk about that soon. We talk about talking about that here soon. So we'll definitely get into that. But yeah, no, the Gen 3 platform super interesting. What they got going on with the rear A arms and yeah, no, if I make it out to the West Coast, I'll definitely school you up.
Well, you never know. I may end up coming back there as well. So in the XC1 class, Bryson Neal had some issues. Didn't make it around for lap 4. So he made it 3. Hunter Hart led. He had some issues as well. Brandon Owens had some issues as well. So did Ronnie Roush. He was doing really well. And then unfortunately the wheels came off the cart for those guys. Seemed like they all had the same problem or a similar style problem. Was the mud heavier, or was it just something that was unexpected for these guys to have issues like that?
I think it was the amount of water everybody was intaking, being the leaders in that XC1 class, trying to blitz across all the deep mud holes that like I talked about, that we got that nasty thunderstorm that hit right before the pro race. Actually postponed it for, I think it was almost like 2 hours. They postponed it. Got the race going, and it was nasty. It rained a good bit, and I think that was about everybody's problem, was either electrical with water getting into wiring or sucking in water through your intake.
And that's not normal for these guys because they have a pretty good sealed package. You guys are used to the water most of the time. It just seems like an odd thing to happen for every class to have some kind of issue. It was upsetting to hear.
Yeah, with a 4x4 with us, it wasn't the mud or with anything. It was just a fluky day. Just a bunch of us just had separate issues that day.
That's what I mean.
Connected with the 4x4 guys, but with the XC1 guys, the AM race got done racing. We got done racing when it was a dry, good track. So this track is like, it's rutted and set for like a fast-paced, flowy track, right? They get out there and the ruts are set that way with the different holes. They're going to try to carry that pace through the holes and everything. And there's only so much that intake can intake,
Right. But it's just like a rough day for everybody.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, that was one thing. Wyatt Wilkin, we'll talk about here. Our XC1 winner, Mr. Wyatt Wilkin, sneaking through the pack after Bryson Neal and Hunter Hart and a bunch of other guys dropped out with mechanicals. Wyatt was running second place early in the race, all over Bryson, and he's like, I could see the amount of water he was intaking. I knew if he was intaking that amount of water, a lot of other people were doing the same thing. So if I was just smart about it, and I have to finish to win this thing. So he was a little bit smarter about it. He kind of fell off the pace here and there, but I think that was part of his strategy. I think he had the pace on that day to run out front. He was just choosing when and when not to.
Right. Big learning curve for everybody then.
Yeah. No, everybody going into it with a dry race mentality, dry race setup, having to, everybody, they had to leave the starting line and go back to the pits while they postponed the race. And everybody had to, change mindset, change tires, change setup, whatever everybody did. But
wow, that's pretty bad. If you go with a dry setup, you get your bike all set up for the dry, and then, it'll be okay. It's not going to be okay. We don't have enough time to fix it, to swap it over. Oops.
The great thing about a guy like me, just leave your setup. I might have to change my tire pressure a little bit. We're good to go.
Right. Well, congratulations for Wyatt Wilkins to win that race. Walker Fowler was announced that he was injured and wasn't going to ride. Get into that story a little bit.
Yeah. So he showed up, Saturday morning, brought his squad for a showpiece. He still got his hauler on Pro Row, so got the Power Motorsports banners flying and everything. So had a squad setting up for show, and he was like, wasn't going to race, and they postponed that race. And he's seen the amount of rain we were getting and everything. He started licking his lips. He's like, okay, my quad's here. The only thing I need is gear. And I guess he had a couple people chirping in his ear, trying to get him going, trying to get him not to, and he ended up racing, ended up paying out for him. So even injured in a really technical mud race like that, Walker was able to come away with the second. Really good day for points, kept him in the championship hunt, brought him within 30 points, and set him up well for this past weekend at round 11.
Right. Josh Merritt put himself in third. So that battle between Wyatt and Josh, extends and keeps them close. They're fighting for third and fourth, and there is a definite battle there because, one position, one way or the other, can tip you to a number 3 to a number 4. Nobody else seems to be that close to those two guys. So fifth on back, I'm a little off on where the points lay. Stephen Harrell got himself up into fifth place or fourth place on that race and had a great ride, being a rookie.
Absolutely. No, he's been looking really pacey here and there. Just he's got to get some clean starts and keep himself out front. I think that's exactly what he did there. I think he got the whole shot and held it out front for a little bit.
Yeah, well, he's no stranger to leading because he led a lot in the XC2 class. He's just got to get his feet wet running at that pro level pace, for that long. McClure and Abney and Boric all had good rides as well.
Yeah, no, those are all really good technical guys. Really technical mud race. They all survived and had good days.
Yeah, everybody down to Adam McGill got their 4 laps in. Everybody else, unfortunately, did not.
And McGill folded his axle or something in his rear end. His rear right tire was doing all sorts of things.
And he rode it out.
Yeah, I think he did that at the end of the second lap. Because I stayed and watched the race until the end of the second lap.
Wow. End of the second lap, damages it and rode it. Well, in the mud, how much is it going to slow you down?
Nothing terrible, a lot less than on a dry day for sure, but enough for Adam McGill, a top 5 overall guy on a good day to struggle to be in the top 20.
Right. I get it. I totally get it. Wow. That's what an amazing race. The facility was great. The track had to have been really good. And then to have it just, if it wasn't your day, it just wasn't your day. No matter what you were going to do, it just wasn't going to happen for you.
And that's racing. That's racing all across the board. So sometimes you seem to get luckier than others, but it hit everybody this weekend.
Right, it did.
Except for Mr. Wyatt Wilkin getting his first ever XC1 win. Very, very excited, very proud of him. So he's we'll get in round 11 here in a second. Unfortunately, has some issues, wasn't able to follow back up, but I'm really excited.
Wilkin, Eller, Harper, and Mickelson all came away with a happy day.
Absolutely.
Yep, and congratulations to those winners. Where are we going to next?
Round 11, we're going to the Summit Bechtel Reserve. It's the Boy Scout World Headquarters. It's a beautiful piece of property just outside of Beckley, West Virginia. One of my favorite track on the circuit for sure now. Beautiful piece of property. Excellent.
And the battle will rage on for the championships. Everybody but WXC, there is a chance that a title could be won or lost. Small chances, but there is a chance, right?
Yeah, I mean, WXC is still up in the air. Just got 2 DNFs. That's it.
Technically, you're right.
Like we're just talking, as far as like mathematically being in the points to be able to just straight up beat the dude, first, second. I don't know if there's anybody that's in that point anymore. With me having my mechanical at Buckwheat, I can't just straight up beat Brandon every race and get the championship. I think Chloe's in the same boat. I think Walker's in the same boat. So I think we all need a little bit of luck, but we've kept ourselves alive and kept the hoop alive.
Alex is in the same boat as well.
Yep. So
and
Mr. Never know what happens. Me having mechanical. Anybody can have a mechanical on any day.
Right. Exactly. Or something else happened. But so Cody, thank you so much. We will catch you on the next one, and I appreciate everything. Anything you want to say in closing?
No, just good weekend of racing.